Hello, my name is Gary today, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. It's a brief glimpse at some important books if you're trying to get sober and stay sober in a happy, kind of contented way. Let's see, I'm going to read this one, the Daily Reflections for October 10th, 2025. It's called Fixing Me, Not You. If somebody hurts us and we are sore, we are in the wrong also. That's from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book, page 90. I feel the need to do this. Huh. Here it is. That's from this book, the 12 by 12, or the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. October 10th, continued. Fixing me, not you. If somebody hurts us and we are sore, we are in the wrong also. That's from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book, page 90. What a freedom I felt when this passage was pointed out to me. Suddenly, I saw that I could do something about my anger. I could fix me instead of trying to fix them. I believe that there are no exceptions to the axiom. When I am angry, my anger is always self-centered. I must keep reminding myself that I am human, that I am doing the best I can, even when that best is sometimes poor. So I ask God to remove my anger and truly set me free. Period. The end of the reading. Let me go over this, or I'm just going to go over this for a minute. Suddenly I saw that I could do something about my anger. I could fix me instead of trying to fix them. Got a couple of disagreeing cats over in the other part of the room. They'll get it worked out, I'm quite certain. I mentioned the other day this book by Wayne Dyer, There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. And when I was making the video, I said there's a spiritual situation to every problem or something. It wasn't, I meant to say there's a spiritual solution to every problem. Anyhow, Wayne Dyer has written many books. And he's dead now, in case you didn't know. He died years ago. I forget exactly when. He hit like 80 years old. Somewhere in his 80s, I think. He had cancer. He ran a couple of successful, I think he ran at least one successful drug and alcohol rehab facility place. Anyways, a very bright guy. A lot of his work has affected me in a helpful, positive way. So, he brought this up. He was like a psychologist and a PhD, I think, level sociologist. This kind of, anyways, it doesn't matter. I heard a guy brighter than myself say some stuff that I really liked, and it helped me. I can't fix you. I can't fix anybody else. I could only, really, the only person I have any kind of access to and any kind of sway with, or any way to really change and influence and encourage would be myself. So number one, it's important to keep that in mind, that your self-talk, what you're telling yourself about yourself, might be a lie. but you're probably going to believe it anyways. So your inner voice or judge or critic or that part of you that makes you you, or the I, and the I, I want this, I need whatever, that I, that person, that entity, that, I don't know, facet of your ego. Let that critic, that judge, say positive things about yourself. And like I said, they may not be true, but you're going to believe them anyways, probably, because it's coming from I, me, that inner voice, that inner self. Anyhow. So, yesterday's reading, oh boy, I got a spiritual axiom, and I looked that up, in a spiritual axiom, or an axiom, I like to say it this way: it's a given, or it's taken for granted. Either way, it's taken for granted or a given is kind of, in my head, in my world. That's the same thing as saying axiom, which is considered to be true or just or right or correct, I guess, would be a better fitting word. Maybe without an official vote or something. It's just, or another way, it's just been around so long that so many people seem to believe it that it's become true. It's an axiom. That's the language model of that. And then for mathematics, it's the foundation or platform that an abstract idea can rest upon. Maybe like X, Y, and Z axis, 3 axes. An axiom might be the foundational layer that you put an abstract concept or idea upon. It can rest on this. It's abstract. It doesn't need to. It's just there, and you don't need to argue about it or figure out why or anything like any. Boy, do I get off the subject quickly here. Wayne Dyer, bright guy, said, trying to fix other people. I forget what he had an analogy for this. I'm quite certain, and I forget what it is now. I'm sorry, but remember I said yesterday's reading this. I never truly understood, blah blah, all this stuff, and it was about 2 different reactions to the same situation. What Wayne Dyer was saying, and what I like to think about, and what this book is saying today. What a freedom I felt when this passage was pointed out to me. That's if somebody hurts me and I'm sore, then I'm wrong also. Not only am I wrong, or the person that hurt me, they were wrong. I'm wrong also for being hurt. That's a tough one to, seems counterintuitive. What a freedom I felt when this passage was pointed out to me. Suddenly I saw that I could do something about my anger. I could fix me instead of trying to fix them. Man, it took me a long time to get to that again. I could fix me instead of trying to fix them. And like I was saying, I'm the only guy really that has any influence directly upon me. I'm the guy that has the best access at changing anything inside me, is me. I, that inner self, voice, critic, judge, whatever you want to call that part of your personality. Oh, and I was also saying that your subconscious listening part, to my understanding, accepts everything in, all the inbound data, as true. Like an axiom. It just, okay, that's good, that's true. So, if you're not discriminating in what you're consuming, and a lot of it is subliminal, and a lot of it is background kind of noise. So it's very difficult to control what you're intaking. It takes a conscious effort to okay, so anyways, all that stuff is just getting jammed in there. Just lots of data, lots of facts and things, just getting crammed in there. And you don't need that much information. You only need a couple. You need to have it's like survival. You just need some food, some water, and some shelter so you don't freeze to death or get baked to death. It's like 5 things maybe that you need, and then all this other stuff is just fluff, and it can make life more enjoyable, more prosperous, more safe. It can extend life. Lots of benefits and information, or at least if you understand the information and actually apply it and use it in your situation. Okay, geez. Fixing me, not you. 2 different reactions to the same situation. That was yesterday's thing. So, and the thing yesterday was about dogs will bark, and I can react differently. At least 2 different ways. I can be angry, fearful, and in shame. I think was one of the writer's first response, but then his spiritual connection got better, or something changed inside of him, and then he just realized dogs will bark. I can't control that. I'll just bring the dog inside, and then it won't affect the neighbors, and then I don't have to be ashamed and in fear and anxious or whatever. Calmly would be the point. Now, I can fix me, not anybody else, really. And directly, I should say. That feels a bit more correct. Fixing me, not you. If somebody hurt us and we're sore, we're in the wrong also. That takes a lot of acceptance right there. If I feel I'm hurt because of something you said, I'm going to cherry pick why I'm right and you're wrong, and I should have, what's the term, justifiable anger for you hurting me. But I don't want to argue this point. It's going to feel that way. However, that comes at a price. Everything comes at a price, right? Thermodynamics in physics. I forget which law, probably the second one, that energy isn't created, and I'm going to put it in my own words. It's like an artifact of something that's already happened, and it's only transformed from one shape or phase to another. It's just transformed. It's always been around, the energy. And the part I want to not argue about is it's an axiom kind of thing that if I strike this table and if I do it hard enough, the camera will shut off, because that's almost a direct physical seismic kind of thing that will shut the camera off. But I'm saying that this physical action, this kinetic energy, if you heard that pencil tap on the table, that was converted, the energy of this kinetic, the gravity holding it down, my use of food to lift it up, that's all converted energy, the striking the table. Then that got converted into a sound wave. It's a different type of energy, I think. Back on point here. The same situation, 2 different reactions. If the spiritual connection's right for me, my reaction can be wildly different to the same situation. Okay. And I can fix me, and I very likely cannot fix you. I can maybe help you fix yourself. That's a thing for sure. If somebody hurts us and we are sore, we are in the wrong also. That's where I got off on the ad hoc physics lesson. Because if you hurt me, I'm going to want to retaliate and hurt you back the same or more. I don't want to argue that. That happens. That's natural, right or wrong, or no argument. What I'm saying, though, is after that, I've got that in my head now. It's like, man, I really should have. I could have handled that better. I could have handled that differently. I probably could have handled it better than I did. And it's like, I'd like to handle things like that in the future in a better way than I currently am handling things like that or whatever. Okay, and so in the context of what the heck is going on here, this Daily Reflections book, today's reading is October 10th, the 10th day of the 10th month. So, and it relates to the 10th step, not because the date is 10, but because it's the 10th month. And the way this book was compiled, a bunch of stuff relating to the 10th step is in the month of October, the 10th month. And so the 10th step says, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. The reason, and what you might find helpful in doing a continued inventory, whether it's many times in 1 hour or day or week or month or year or once a decade or whatever it is you can take a look at your past behavior. It might have just been 15 seconds ago. It might be 15 years ago. You can a continued inventory, and when you're wrong, promptly admit it. In the case of like 15 years, the promptness, that's a bit, that's stretching the meaning of the word prompt. But in cosmological terms, 15 years is a blink of an eye. It's it's nothing. But we're in human scale stuff. 100 years tops, maybe. And roughly 5 and 10 inches tall. And 200 pounds, say. And male or female. And hairless or not. Or with teeth or not. Or whatever. With, alive or dead. Human. 6 foot or less or so tall, 200 pounds or so, and 24 hours a day, and a yearly thing around the sun, the 4 seasons. That's the scale, not astronomical, cosmological scales. That promptly, the sooner the better might be another way, or you could try and massage that word into that statement. This thing's going to shut me off because I got really long-winded on stuff that may not be that important. Fixing me, not you. Energy is just transformed. It's just there. Whether it's psychic or physical energy. 2 different reactions to the same situation. I have control over me. People argue, how much control? I don't know. But it's the only one thing maybe that I could have any hope of being able to at least influence in a weak or strong way would be me, my direct behavior from my thinking, and then what I choose to do. So what a freedom I felt when this passage was pointed out to me, that if somebody hurts me and I get sore, that's wrong. And if I can just stop myself from arguing that, there's maybe more to come, and I could learn something here that would be really helpful. And it may not be explained today. It might take all month. Here, let me just even try. I'm going to run out of time, but I figured there's 4 weeks in each month, roughly. 7 days apiece. However you want to chop it up. And the first 7 days in this book is like the preface to some thing, like this continued inventory and why and how it might work. And then the second week gives you like a more direct way that you can do it. The actual how-to steps, say. And then the third week is like the results that you might be getting if you're doing it in a beneficial way. And then the fourth week is how all this fits together in your like personality sort of thing for each different step, for each month and each week. Anyhow, man, I'm going to leave you hanging with that. It's Friday, and I should maybe probably do one of these again tomorrow. So thank you for coming by here. Goodbye.